For the last year, the News 4i team has investigated deaths of D.C. inmates serving time in federal prisons and the unanswered questions that their families have had over the years. Now, a second death in recent months has been ruled a homicide.
Investigative reporter Tracy Wilkins joins us now to explain why some say D.C. inmates are more vulnerable and what's being done to prevent those deaths behind bars. Tracy?
Well, Sean, when a prisoner is given a sentence, the expectation is that they serve it with a focus on successfully bringing them home, rehabilitated and ready to contribute to society. D.C.'s prison closed decades ago, so once its inmates are sentenced, they are now sent to federal prisons all over the country. And both inmates and experts tell us they're often targeted. At least 6 D.C. inmates serving in federal prison have been killed in the last 4 years. Some of their families are still wondering what happened. When D.C. native Derisha Hawkins thinks about the new life she's created for her family in Hagerstown, Maryland, she's proud.
Up here's a different scenery. You don't hear the sirens.
But she's also sad knowing that her husband will never have these moments with his children again.
He loved being a dad. He just loved it.
She says Kamara Jones was a dutiful father, but also a complicated man. In and out of prison, a parole violation putting him back behind bars. Thousands of miles away, where Jones said he felt targeted.
For some reason that they just automatically don't like D.C., people from D.C.
The distance making it almost impossible to see him or check on him.
I missed him prior to this, but it's a different feeling now. It's like I'm sorry, I don't want to get. It's a different feeling now, because I know he's not coming home.
On March 22nd, Jones' body was discovered in the Special Housing Unit, a place of isolation for prisoners, also known as the SHU, at USP Victorville in California. His death ruled a homicide.
The coroner's office called me and told me that they had his body.
Prisoners placed in the SHU may be moved there for discipline or can request it for their own protection. Derisha doesn't know why he was there, but she told the I-Team he expressed concern for his safety and told her he had been injured, but didn't say by whom.
He's had a broken collarbone. He's had fractured ribs.
According to Bureau of Prisons documents obtained by the I-Team, correctional officers tried to resuscitate Jones after he was found leaning against the shower.
I inquired about him, like, how was somebody deceased standing in a shower?
A roommate also in the cell was restrained and removed. 5 months before Jones' death, Robert Jeter, another D.C. inmate, also serving time at Victorville, died after being found unresponsive inside the SHU.
He had hopes. He wanted to live his life.
Initially ruled undetermined, the BOP now says his death was a homicide caused by blunt force trauma.
So severely that his brain had swollen and hemorrhaged.
New prison records obtained by the I-Team show Jeter was also in the SHU, found in the shower.
So many D.C. prisoners, they have a level of insecurity and instability that other state prisoners don't have.
Brenda V. Smith is a professor of law at the American University Washington College of Law and has studied and advocated for D.C. inmates for more than 20 years.
They're going to a place where nobody knows them, nobody has heard about them, and all they've heard is about this D.C. population that's coming to them that is entitled, that is violent.
Many people don't know what happens inside of a prison.
But it is Naila Sebron's job to know. She's with D.C. Corrections Information Council, or CIC. The city agency bridges the gap between D.C.'s inmates, the federal prisons, and the city's legislators. They visit up to 5 prisons a year, checking on conditions and talking with D.C.'s incarcerated.
We are here to give them a voice.
And they make recommendations based on what they find to the BOP and district officials. In this CIC inspection report of Victorville from 2016, numerous inmates said the prison was unsafe and dangerous, with high rates of gang-related violence. Over half of the inmates interviewed reported being assaulted and expressed fear for their safety or lives. D.C. inmates also complained that they were sent to the SHU more than others and were called troublemakers.
The people who have authority and get these reports, what are they doing with them?
I mean, I would hope that they're reading them and taking in the information. Change comes from legislation. And until there's specific legislation enacted you know, we just keep churning out reports.
CIC does not have the power to enforce its recommendations, and it's only notified of an inmate's death in federal custody when the BOP issues a press release.
If you all don't know which prisoners are dying or where they're located or how many deaths are happening, doesn't that somehow hinder the oversight work?
I think that that's where the families come into play, right? So if they contact us and they let us know what happened, then we can contact the powers that be at the BOP and inquire within.
The Bureau of Prisons told the I-Team that due to privacy, safety, and security reasons, it couldn't comment on the conditions or any potential investigations involving inmates.
You know, you want to have answers why he was there in the first place. Why was he that far in the first place? And let alone why he's not coming home at all.
We asked the BOP about those concerns raised by D.C. inmates in that 2016 inspection report. The agency said, "We make every effort to ensure the physical safety and health of the individuals confined to our facilities through a controlled environment that is secure and humane." There was another CIC inspection that happened at Victorville in 2021. There were less complaints about violence among inmates in that report, but a quarter of the D.C. inmates there were housed in the SHU at the time. San Bernardino Sheriff's Office tells us the FBI is investigating Jones and Jeter's homicides.
Wow.
Back to you all.
Tracy, I'm just curious, has there been any response from D.C. leaders about this?
Yes, Sean, we did hear from D.C. Councilmember Brooke Pinto's office. She chairs the committee that oversees the judiciary and public safety, and she said the homicides are extremely troubling and that she will continue to keep fighting for control over D.C.'s jail and prison system, including keeping D.C. inmates closer to home. And there are plenty of families who would like to see that happen.
I know there
Back
are.
to you all.
All right. Tracy, thank you so much. We appreciate it.